What's happening, everybody? Welcome back to Redemption with Jaden. We're on to round 2 of Lackey Grand Prix 20. Double decades here. Is that a thing? Do you call them 20 double decades? I mean, it works, I guess. But anyways, we are now onto the round 2 here, and I'm going to be playing against Mr. John Hendrix once again. If you remember, I played him just a few weeks ago, and it's not quite going to be a repeat. I am going to be playing the same, or at least, the same deck, a different kind of updated, more updated version, I guess. He did switch it up from that game. He played Chad's Purple Heart, so it's actually going to be sort of a repeat in a sense of last week when I played against Chad, and Chad used his Purple Heart list. John used a similar version to that. I think maybe it was a different iteration. Chad's been working on the deck, and so I don't know how identical the lists are that were run, but this week, the list that I'm running is almost identical. This kind of Joshua PostE's Edomites build that I've just been having a lot of fun with. I think it's fun to play. It's very kind of up my alley, I guess. But I don't know. Maybe it's a little bit of the nostalgia of just playing PostE's again after a year or two of not really having them in the spotlight, I guess, or at least not really much on my radar because just of how the 4 activations rule and the territory class rule impacted the offense. And I think that this this is kind of bringing it to a new light. So I guess the eternal credit, I guess, for this particular combination or this particular deck, I think has to go to Jeremy, because Jeremy Chambers, who he put together a list that was pretty much, the shell, I guess, that this whole list has adapted from. But he had that together in paper, brought it to the Thomas J. Chambers Memorial Tournament, and he let me use it. And that's where I fell in love with it and have been kind of tweaking it since then. And the most recent, if you remember, for last week, I had it to a 50 card version, and now this version is at 52, which I think is okay. Like if you're, you get down to a 50 card, and then there's a few cards that you just want to try out. You maybe, if you have some cards that you're thinking like, oh, I could swap these out for something, then go for it. I think if you're just adding 1 or 2 cards, then you just want to test it out. Playing it at 51 or 52 isn't going to adjust the numbers, a whole lot, or like kind of the consistency a whole lot. And so I figured that I felt okay about, adding this. And one of the things anyways that I was kind of wondering is whether or not the deck needed a little more defense. And so the 2 cards that I added to the main deck here are this Inhabitants of Seir and Sheol, which kind of works well with Inhabitants of Seir. For one, it's got pretty easy Sheol unity here. And then the Inhabitants of Seir has this, if blocking, you may play an Evil OT Fortress from deck ability. And putting Sheol right into play during a block is pretty good. I like characters that can do that, like the Highwayman is another one that can do that. What was the brown one? Zalofa had the lone, and Sheol is both OT and NT because it has the dual reference there with Solomon Axe. So there are a decent number of characters that can put it into play, and it's just a decent one to have available because sometimes it turns off your opponent's searching abilities. You can get it out early. And so, maybe if they were planning to play Crowd's Choice or something to find their battle winner, then, you can kind of punish them for that if you only have, 1 or 2 souls available. And then you could also, situationally just use the add to battle ability right away if that makes sense to do. The other kind of fun thing with Inhabitants of Seir is it's what's the word I'm looking for? Parallel. It's not the word, but basically it works both ways where it affects symmetrical. That's the word I was thinking. It's a symmetrical kind of punisher for good search abilities that if a player uses a good search ability, they must banish a card from a hand or from hand or territory, not a hand. That would be crazy. From hand or territory. So it has to be your own hand, your own territory. And this works for me, it works for my opponent. And the synergy here, I guess, the thing that I was not entirely like, the main idea, I guess, behind me adding it was like, because I have a number of different bounce effects between Ezra and Book of the Law, then I can sort of, turn this on and off as I like feel like I need to. I can also discard it from my territory with Great White Throne if it's going to hurt me too much. And so I just felt like I had enough control over it that having that extra counter piece could be kind of cool. And then also I can put it into play right away with Darkness. Just gives me a good early target, because sometimes I felt like the defense just didn't really have a great like turn one option. Like King of Edom has a lot of synergy with the reserve. Terrified Chiefs is okay on turn one, but as long as you have one of the CBP backup enhancements, and so like some of them like Foreign Wives, I guess can be decent on turn one, but it's only if your opponent attacks with like Matthew or something to actually get to that 5 cards if they're going first and they don't draw 3 at the beginning. So, and Hey Dad can be okay too. So there are some decent options, but I also just wanted to have something that was more of a go-to, that in pretty much any situation this would be a decent character to get turn one to just get Shield online right away. And so I was kind of thinking like, let's try it out, see how it feels. I had used it before, and I guess that was a strictly Joshua deck that was kind of focused on using cards like Remnant and Faith of Jacob to take my opponent's characters to my territory and then banish them with the Inhabitants of Seir's ability, which I think is pretty cool, and maybe is something I'll try to do a little bit more once, hopefully, PostEs get some clay heroes, assuming that they reprint some of the priests that are post-exilic, if not these guys right away, at least like the the Joida and the Elishama and Jadua, all those fellows that currently we only have the scroll versions of, and and Jonathan, I think, was one of them. Anyway, there's a whole bunch of them. There's a lot of posties that we haven't seen in rotation yet, so I'm excited for those. Obviously, let's get these Joshua characters out of here. But no, so Inhabitants of Seir kind of has some fun potential. What I then kind of realized as I was just kind of thinking about the deck, goldfishing a little bit, was like, oh, this actually. There's kind of a little bit of a combo here where I can basically, if I have Jerusalem Tower and Jeshua, I can basically turn multiple, or up to like 4 evil cards in my hand and or territory into good OT gold cards from my deck. So basically the way it works, as long as I have one way to one way to trigger Inhabitants of Seir, if I have one good search ability that I can do like in my prep phase or maybe even during battle, then this triggers Inhabitants of Seir. I have to banish a card from hand or territory. If I banish an evil card, then Jerusalem Tower triggers, and then I get to top deck a good OT gold card from deck. Once I do that, Jeshua triggers, and also the Inhabitants of Seir triggers, because the top deck is a search ability, because the way that stacking of triggered abilities work, Inhabitants of Seir will have to go first because it's a mandatory ability, and then Jeshua is optional. So Inhabitants of Seir has to go first. I have to banish something from hand or territory, say another evil card. If it is another evil card, then Jerusalem Tower also triggers. So now I have Jerusalem Tower trigger and a Jeshua trigger both in my pile of optional triggers. I can then choose to resolve them in either order. And so if I choose to do Jeshua first and I draw the card I searched for before, then I do Jerusalem Tower to do another card, and you can see where it keeps on going from there. So I can basically just get out like a bunch of my heroes very quickly. Sadly, I can't get Emmaus Road, Amazing Faith, or Teaching in Parables, which would all be great options. It seems like, maybe like 2 out of those 3 are going to be like the last gold cards in my deck most of the time. So there is something to be said about maybe having a few more gold cards in there, but I just can't really see myself cutting at least any of Amazing Faith or Teaching of Parables, and pretty much also Emmaus Road from the main deck here. Emmaus Road is maybe the most iffy because I don't have many reserve targets for it. So I could see that being cut either to get it down to 50 or to add some good OT gold card in its place, maybe like a Fruit of the Land or something, just to have another way to hit cards, get options there. That's actually not the bad idea because I have plenty of reserve access. If I play Fruit of the Land on a Joshua hero and then it goes to my reserve, I can get it out pretty easily again with Zerubbabel's Temple and Book of the Law. So that's something to consider. It's also fewer brigades, so it takes green and teal out of the equation, at least for that card. I mean, I still have teal on some other cards, but so that's something to think about. But I guess getting Matan out of reserve is kind of nice, having that option. Like, I can get Matan out of reserve in the prep phase instead of having to do it during battle with Book of the Law or Zerubbabel's Temple. So there is that. But anyways, something to think about for a future game, not this one. But anyway, so where was I? I don't remember. Okay, top decking, going through the loop, of Inhabitants of Seir, Jerusalem Tower, and Jeshua the Restorer. Then usually I'll end the loop by just banishing Inhabitants of Seir. Obviously I could just end it by choosing not to top deck with Jerusalem Tower, but then it kind of feels like I'm ending the loop on a downside, I guess, where like I have to banish something and then I won't get the benefit from it. But if I end it with Inhabitants of Seir, then I can still trigger Jerusalem Tower that one last time, and then Jeshua that one last time as well. So I don't know. And that also just helps because then I won't have to, worry about it when I go into battle. Although if at that point I've already triggered Inhabitants of Seir 4 times, it won't trigger again, throughout the rest of the battle. The other thing to note is, as you will see that I realized during the game, is that I do have to be careful about the number of times I do trigger Jeshua in my prep phase, because if I want to put him into battle, then you can only... the way the 4 activations rule works is that you can only activate the instant abilities, or one of the instant abilities, well, I guess any number of the instant abilities on the card up to 4 times. So it's not ability specific, but it's kind of full special abilities specific, if that makes sense. It's not like sentence specific. So it's not like I get, 4 top deck draws and then also some number, well, I guess pretty much just the 1 band or play a good fortress. It's 4 activations of any ability on the card, any instant ability on the card total. So if I draw 4, I don't get to band. You gotta keep an eye on that. Make sure that you're only doing one or the other, or if you band and that's the 4th one, then you don't get to draw something if you top deck, say with Zerubbabel's Temple or Book of the Law. Okay, so those were the 2 additions to the deck. That was kind of a lot for just 2 cards, but I mean, it does add a lot, it seems like, and so that is kind of I don't know, something that I think will stay in the deck, or definitely I'll continue to try. The other thing that changed here was one of the cards in the reserve. I swapped out the Threatening Sword that was in here. I feel like I was using the evil enhancements in my reserve less, and I also just have less access to them. And so I felt like one of them should be cut for the card that I wanted to add. I wanted to add something to deal with Foreign Wives, because that was kind of one of the main blocks that my opponents would be able to get against this offense, is just blocking with Foreign Wives, and then I don't have anything that's regardless of protect or any way to restart the battle. Even like in earlier versions of this deck, I was running Ambush the City, but it doesn't really work that well against Foreign Wives, because you begin a new battle and Foreign Wives is generic, so they can just block with it again. You'd have to have something that can get rid of her in territory, but it's just not... Does she say this turn? Foreign Wives is right here. Yeah, no. So it's this turn on the trigger, but not on the protect. So she wouldn't be protected in the new phase. So if, say, I attacked with a meek hero and then played awesome things to to play Crumbled from a Shout or Joshua's Command or something, I could still take out Wives at that point, but it just doesn't really feel quite as good. Plus, all of my heroes are unique, except for Joshua's Officiators, I guess. So none of the same ones would be able to enter battle for the second battle, and a lot of my heroes entered battle together all at once. So that made me want to add Plague of Frogs. It's something I had been thinking about, and then actually Renee also reached out. He was like, "Hey, have you considered adding Plague of Frogs to your reserve?" And I was like, "As a matter of fact, I have." And that's. But I'm glad to see we were kind of on the same wavelength after he watched my last video and was like, "Yeah, I could see that being a problem." So, Plague of Frogs seemed like the best option. There was one other card I was considering that I can't remember now. Oh yeah, Discerning Judgment. Just because I do have Captain in here and he's in the band most of the time, and also that could potentially catch somebody off guard if they do like a withdraw all but one ability and like keep Captain in the battle. But I don't know. I felt like Plague of Frogs was probably the best option just to give me more versatility in case Captain was not in the battle or they got rid of him somehow or something like that. So that is those are all the changes from the deck between last week and this week. And so we're going to be taking it up against Hendrix here, as I mentioned, and it was just it was a lively game. I mean, Hendrix and I always talk for a while. We talked for a good while before we even played the game. I think we were just talking for like an hour or so, and so always a good time playing against him. And he's got the content kind of conversation, I guess, bringing things out and trying to keep things lively and whatnot. So it's going to be a little bit of a regular video and a little bit of like a Threshing Floor podcast kind of experience, because you get half of the the hosts from there. So that should always make for a good video. So hopefully you guys enjoy that. But before we get into the game, fun news over here on Your Turn Games, we have another new section. So like a month ago or something like that we got the Collector's Corner that was added, and now just above that there is a clearance section, which just includes certain sets of cards or combinations of cards that Andy has put together that are just kind of randomly on clearance. So there's some limited number of them. I think for most of them they're like complete sets. There are only like one set available. Now maybe for the ultra rares he has more than one available, but for the like complete sets, a lot of them are just the only one. So you have to go check those out kind of periodically. You can go back and see what offers there's just huge discounts on limited supply items. So very cool opportunity for Andy to put this out here and just give another option to kind of generate some I don't know, interest, I guess, or like where you're just like, oh, I've been wanting to get this but just wasn't sure if it was the right time. It's like, oh, now it's on clearance, that's the right time. You all know how shopping works. That's pretty much it. So yeah, there's even some kind of lightly or gently used sleeves that he has available here, 64. That's perfect if you want to sleeve up this PostE Joshua Edomites deck that I've got going on here. It's at 52 right now, so you even have 2 sleeves left over. That seems like a pretty good deal. But yeah, so those are just under $10 for those, and the rest, yeah, all just good deals to take advantage of. So if you are looking for something in particular, or you're just you've got a set, or a set of cards or something that you have in mind that you want to buy, just keep an eye on the clearance section here, and this will be a good way to pick it up at a discounted price when the time is right. So anyways, that is great. Thank you for your turn, or to Your Turn Games for sponsoring this content. One more final thing before we get into the game. I just realized after recording the whole intro and whatever that the Lackey plugin is now live, or the plugin update is now live. And so the new promos, Prince of the Air, Samson, NT Hopper, all those are now on Lackey, or if you do the update. And the updates are in the forums post that I'll post in the description. It's also posted on Discord and all that. But if you are unaware or unfamiliar with how to update your Lackey plugin, just go over here to the plugin tab on Lackey. Right now, it should say Redemption, most likely. Sometimes the recent URLs will show up in here, and you can just put that in, or otherwise you can copy it and then paste it into there. And then you just click Install or Update from URL. For me, it's going to say you've already got all the updates because I've already run it, so that you can see that Prince of the Air, it sees all your files are up to date. But for you, it might take a few seconds, minute or whatever to upload or to load the new pictures and all that images for the new promos. So no more having to use proxies and stuff. So anyways, now we're going to get into the game with John.
You're at the unholy 52.
Yeah.
Not 51, but 52.
I had 2 cards that I wanted to add, and I didn't know what to take out for them.
Yeah.
So.
And you're just playing me, so it's okay. You don't have to be fine-tuned.
Yep, I wanted an excuse in case you won. So like, I was playing 52, so it was kind of,
That's fair enough.
All right.
If you don't discredit my win, then I would have to do it. So
right. I rolled a 5. See, I figured you'd be coming back for vengeance, though. after the last game we played. So.
Vengeance. That would require me to have put time and effort into a Lackey deck. I put more effort into physical decks these days.
Sure. Okay. So that's your excuse. So, all right.
Yeah.
Glad we both got our bases covered. Yeah.
And I am still, disclaimer, I am still playing with this janky mouse. So if something happens, I'm blaming it on the mouse.
All right. Fair enough. All right. I get to choose who goes first, huh?
That's what they tell me.
Well, I suppose I will choose myself. Yeah. Let's do. Remember last time we played, and I'm pretty sure I got to use the Rubel Star ability. Now I get to do it again. So let's do Eliud first. We'll just check out your reserve. See what's going on here.
You know what's going on here.
This again. Oh man.
I didn't play you with this, did I?
No, I played Chad last week.
Oh, I got you. Yeah.
But hey,
well,
maybe you've spiced it up a little bit.
In my defense, I'll play it worse than him, so you don't have anything to worry about.
Okay. All right. We got Zerubbabel's Temple, and then I think we'll just go ahead and play my Banished Lost Soul here.
Man, that's rough.
And we'll just get the party rolling.
Too bad you don't have darkness to get that unity going.
Hey, well, I'm going first, so I mean, unless you plan on discarding anything.
I think this is the only star that I have.
All right.
I will reserve that. Oh, see,
it's a good sign. It means I might.
It did it. It drew 2 because I hit double click.
Well, you're probably gonna draw it with Shepherds anyway, so you can.
Yeah.
Now you're just forced to use Shepherds.
Yeah, to be fair. I
suppose technically, since you know what the card is, then you have more information to decide what to underdeck. But I'll allow it.
Okay. That's what it is.
Oh, okay. So much more information.
Yeah. So then I guess that'll hop over there. Then I will give you this fancy token, maybe.
Ooh, cool.
Okay. And in your draw phase, I guess technically you have one, even though you're not going to draw. I'd like to play a couple dominants.
Oh. Yeah, sure.
Okay. I'll just go ahead and take that banished.
Ooh,
Then I will do that. Go ahead and take that distress too.
cool.
Then I will play this as good.
Just got them all, huh?
And then I will take that from my deck and I'll play that. To play out that and that.
Neat. All right.
I may not win, but it'll be fun.
You're doing things right away. That's
Yeah. Doing things. And you get to go first.
Yep. All right. Let's 5 cards left in hand. Yeah. So I think I'm just gonna put down Zerubbabel.
3 nails.
I think I'm just gonna go right to battle, if that's cool with you.
Okay.
All right, let's do Nehemiah. Do the protection thing. And then we'll exchange with Zerubbabel, convert him to Meek. Draw 2. Got a Humble, and I'll ban to allow you to make you discard.
Well, we're doing things, so then that'll be my card.
Okay. And that's my rescue.
Well, that is your rescue. With 5 cards in hand, it's kind of
Oh, I see. You
expected.
gave me one. Okay.
Yeah.
I
Sorry.
didn't
I didn't put
notice
it
it
on the table
disappear.
first.
Cool. That's kind of what I was hoping for.
With 5 cards, it's
Yeah.
it's more than likely.
Okay. Now to decide. Yeah. No, that's fine. I'll just pass the turn.
Okay. Draw 3 of them. Here is a soul. I will activate 20 shekels.
Okay.
I'm not gonna bounce. I'm not gonna help you out. But I can reveal your hand.
Yep.
I think.
You can see what my contemplation was there. Man, how funny would it have been if you had waited just a little bit for me to before you played your dominance and I got that Inhabitants of Seir down.
um, how ironic would it be?
You
Your
just put it in
heyday.
play.
Manage this when it blocks. um, think I will play your whatever charioteers.
Sure.
Seal your hand back, and
I think I'll ask for dominant initiative.
Okay, fine.
I'm gonna play an Evil Woes to negate 20 shekels.
Okay.
I want you choosing my charioteers.
I don't have any. I don't have that set up yet.
Oh, well.
I just wanted to look at your hand, which you can't take that back on the negate. So I guess I will go to battle.
Sure.
All right, here's John. I will reveal this pretty woes. Let's
Mm-hmm.
toss the next, and then I'll draw 2.
So you got a woes too, huh? Yeah.
I do have a woes.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of unfortunate when you do the whole big play for Nazareth and find out the other player has woes in hand.
Yeah. Well, I did the same thing against Chad, where he looked at my hand. I think he had a star ability or something to look at my hand on turn 1. Saw that I had woes and decided not to go for the Nazareth.
Not to go for broke.
Yeah.
That's the first time I've had the opportunity in an actual game to do it, so I wanted
Sure.
to see how it played,
Yeah. I mean,
doing it from that end.
if I didn't have woes, then yeah, definitely would have been solid. I think I am going to block with Hey Dad. Let's go ahead and draw 2 here. And give you
Oh, no, where'd that come
hopper.
from?
uh,
Dueling hoppers, neither one of them are New Testament.
who needs a New Testament hopper? Banish a card from hand. I think I will do that. Just decide what to banish here.
Okay, I'll go ahead and put these 2 back.
I think I will banish a laser. Sorry, bro.
Okay, um hmm, I think I will, just for kicks and giggles, I think I'll play woes on your guy to make you put your draw 2 back.
Sure.
Bring my 2 back.
All right. So that brings back a
Unfortunate.
laser.
It's unfortunate you get your character back, but
Yeah, that's why I wasn't really too concerned about him or banishing him, because I figured he probably wasn't going to stay there.
yeah.
But okay, yeah, that's fine. Um, Still your initiative and stalemate.
Yeah, I'll pass.
I will pass.
Okay. Hey, we did stuff.
We
Uh,
progressed the game. Actually, no, we
I will.
didn't. You drew
I'll
cards.
pass you. Or pass to your turn.
Hey, look, those cards again. All right, in my upkeep, yeah, no stars, no more souls. My upkeep, my woes. Think we're gonna toss it on Nazareth here. I would like to do some searching now.
Mm, it's dangerous.
Yeah, and let's put down a Jerusalem
I fear this is
tower.
gonna be a. I fear this is gonna be a quick game.
I mean, I I might get to show you at least my new tech here, which I think is kind of
Okay.
cool. So I'm
Okay.
gonna I'm gonna
I'm always
Solomon's.
interested in new tech.
We're gonna do Solomon's Dream. Let's see.
For your
Um,
negate neutral guy. Oh wait, no, Jeshua.
yeah, I think that's probably what it is. Oh, actually, no. Let's do it this way. I'm gonna do it for crowd's choice, and then
Okay.
so let's see. So now I can do Play crowd's choice is good. We're gonna go get. Let's do.
Are you getting this from your deck?
Yeah. Let's just grab.
You have thoroughly confused me. Couldn't
Yeah,
Solomon's Dream just get whatever good card you were going to get without the cost of your dominant?
you'll see. It'll make sense in a moment here.
Oh, okay. Okay.
So yeah, I'm just gonna
Is
get.
this part of the tech?
I'm gonna get Jeshua with that. And then I'm gonna put down Jeshua, and then I think we do it that way. Yeah, I'm gonna put down the Inhabitants of Seir, and then I will activate the Great White Throne. So now I have an evil card in my discard pile to banish. So I'm
Gotcha.
banishing my crowd's choice to go and get a hero, which will be Captain. And then I have a Jerusalem Tower trigger off of the banish. So I will go top deck Joshua for my deck. And now, because I used a good search ability, I have to banish a card from my hand or territory with
Yeah,
Inhabitants.
I see it.
And I also have a Jeshua trigger. Now the Inhabitants trigger has to go first because it's mandatory. So I'm going to banish my Hey Dad. And then
Which starts the cycle over.
which triggers Jerusalem Tower. So I have that trigger and I have Jeshua trigger. I'm gonna do
Dude, I
Jeshua
love
first. So they're both optional, so I can choose the order. And then I'll do Jerusalem Tower. Go top deck another card here, which will be Joshua's Officiators. And
I was correct in saying that this is going to be a short game.
and then I think I'm just gonna banish. Let's see, how many other cards would I want? I think I'm just gonna banish Inhabitants of Seir. So now I've got another Jerusalem Tower trigger, I've got another Jeshua trigger, so I'll draw one with Jeshua. I should probably keep track of. So I've got 2 Jeshuas that I've done so far, and now this will be the 3rd Jerusalem Tower.
Pretty sure.
So we'll go and top deck. We'll just grab. Oh yeah, I need Ezra.
Have you played this in person at a tournament?
Not yet. No, this was just yesterday that I. I'm sorry. So Ezra goes on top, and then draw one with Jeshua.
Just curious how well you'd be able to do this in time.
I mean,
I'm sure you could do it, but
yeah, it goes a little faster. I'm not trying to explain it all, but yeah. I mean, and really, it's you only do it like the once, like
yeah, it feels almost like the sequencing of things, like when Jeremy was running Circus,
yeah.
and you just sit there and you just jaw drop just watching. Okay, I'm gonna do this. Boom, 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 boom.
I mean, and the thing is, a lot of it is searching, so you are pausing the timer for each of those searches.
Yeah.
So, and effectively, it's
And
just
this,
like trade these evil cards for these good cards.
and this is with a turn 1 Nazareth against you, which is
Three Woes is a wonderful card that for
yes.
some reason
Does it
is in
last
my
for 3
opening
turns?
hand at the right times.
Yeah. Didn't I say that last time we played? You always have the right dominant at the right time. I'm pretty sure I said that exact thing when we
Hey,
played last time.
says a guy with like 4 dominants in his opening hand.
Hey, it's not every day, and you never wanna see it, but why would the Lackey shuffle Ghost give me Son of God and Second Coming in my opening 8? That is terrible.
Yeah. Well, you know.
Like, I love Jesus, but, I don't need to see him that early.
All right. let's just
So you started with a Solomon's Dream and got to all this.
Casual 10 heroes here.
Yeah, casual.
Yeah.
And they used to
Let's.
say flood set up fast.
All right, so I got to make sure. Let's see. Yeah, I think I'm gonna. No, I don't think I'm worried about that. All right, I'm just gonna go to battle if you're good with that.
And
All right.
yeah, I'm great with it.
Sweet. Captain of the host. Like
Someone said that this deck or I don't know if they were questioning it being on the list of 12, but this thing is insane.
This
That's
is
without your banished lost soul. You lost that little toy, and then with the Nazareth.
yeah. It's a Inhabitants of Seir and then Sheol were the two cards that I added.
And
Those
this is
are.
the slim, and so you feel better with it here than you were playing what 57 before.
I think so. I guess like the um, thing I was kind of thinking of as far as like the like I was just doing some goldfishes earlier, and I was thinking maybe the 57 is better if I am doing this like loop thing, because then I have a few more cards to search for. Like, because I'm doing a lot of searching and a little less drawing. Or, I mean, there's a lot of drawing too, but with the setup, there are certain cards that I want to be able to play out that I don't necessarily want to draw.
Mm,
And so maybe 57 is a little bit better because I'm,
but
you know, a little less likely to draw each individual card, but I can still get the tutors and stuff set up. So I don't know.
on the flip side of that, though, if you did have a turn, obviously you had woes this time, but if you did have searches shut down, 57 probably makes it a little bit more
Right.
inconsistent to get to
Yeah,
stuff.
that's true. Yep.
So
Yeah, setting up those pieces.
definitely
Yeah.
pros on both sides of that. But
Yeah.
is it? Well, I don't know how much you played with. You said it was recent that you added the card, the little tech here.
Yeah, it was literally
But I
just
mean,
yesterday that I.
you played Chad, I guess, with the smaller version, and I
Yeah.
haven't. I am once again behind on your videos, but um, are you? Did you miss the extra dominant at all?
I don't think so. The dominant I cut was Angel of the Lord, and like some games are going to be times where I want it against Chad. Maybe I would have wanted it so that I could actually just take out his foreign wives pre-block. But
Mm,
I mean, if I had hit either my crowd's choice or my ride on victoriously, which were in the bottom like 10 cards of my deck, then I could have hit, because maybe it was even less than 10. It was like 6 or something. I went from like 22 to 6 cards in one battle, and was trying to draw into it before he blocked so that I could take out his foreign wives in territory, but couldn't do it. But
pesky wives.
yeah. All right. So anyway, I drew 3 with Captain. Let's do Hunter here, just because. Let's do this one, just to make sure that you don't hide lost souls on me. And then Prosperity. Let's pitch the Sheol. Oh, that's that's a real bummer. Um, all
Okay,
right.
so I can give you 2 tokens here, right? Prosperity
Sure.
and Hunter.
Yeah.
Oh wait, or was it lost?
Or I
You
guess
got lost
technically it'd be a
souls with
3
Hunter.
if you want to. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think I'm going to be negating your neutrals by the end of this battle. So yeah.
Okay. I'll just give you just to say I remembered my trigger.
Technically, it triggers after all my abilities, but
Oh,
no.
okay. Yeah, well,
Uh, Captain of the host will negate your woes or
I
something.
honestly forgot we were in battle here.
um, the sad
The
part
lines
is,
between your prep phase and your battle is kind of blurred.
sadly, I drew the Joshua's sword off of Prosperity. So I'm just going to equip Builder's Spear to my Nehemiah with the Officiators. And then we'll band a Joshua. We'll underdeck your Shekels. And then he'll exchange with Nehemiah, who will protect the meat cards, protect Heroes and Territory and Lost Souls from evil cards.
You're gonna increase your meat 3/3.
I actually got an Eliezer that was 13-8 against Chad. That didn't really do anything. I'm not going to do that. But I
Have
am
you
going
used
to.
Terrified Chiefs and got them really big yet?
I did against Chad. I got him up to an 11-11, or I think, on one of the last blocks. It's kind of funny. Ezra will bounce Zerubbabel, and then ban 2 Joshua. We'll ban 2 Zerubbabel for Tamik. Draw 2. And we'll ban 2 Eliud and force the discard. Cool. And then I have a Zerubbabel's Temple trigger. And so let's see. Is the 4 activations, is that for the entire card ability, or does it each card's, or is it like the individual abilities on each card? Basically, I'm wondering, like, because I banded with Jeshua, will I be able to draw a 4th card?
Would that be different since it's a instant ability versus on? I'm really not sure.
Players are restricted from activating 1 or more instant effects in the special ability on the same card more than 4 times in a turn. Activating 1 or more instant effects in the special ability on the same card more than 4.
So you activate more.
So I think it counts the total number of effects that you activate on the same card. So that is the 4th use of Jeshua. So I do not get to draw. So do I still want to top deck is the question. And I think the answer is yes. I think I'm going to top deck Feast of Booths with Zerubbabel's Temple, and then sadly not get to draw it.
Okay, so that's a nice little attack you got there.
And then I am going to make another token for you off of my Humble. Entering.
Okay,
and,
well, I'm going to give you that token.
Sweet.
Now you see why I wanted to draw the 2, because I knew they weren't evil characters, and I needed to try to get deeper in for an evil character.
Yeah, that was kind of why. I mean, I figured that, like, the reason I banished something with Hadad to begin with was, I mean, I guess to stop your enhancements, but you knew that I didn't have any enhancements other than whatever I potentially drew.
It was definitely
but I wanted to stop you from drawing just because
bait out the woes.
Yeah, either bait out the woes or just stop you from drawing cards because I had the momentum. So, with that, I am going to pass the turn.
Okay, I'm gonna draw 3.
I put down Akeem, by the way. I guess I didn't actually mention that, but
okay. It definitely will be a short game. I guess I will woes.
If you say Joshua, I'm going to be upset.
I mean, that stops your access to stuff, but
I mean, at this point, I've pretty much got everything I need, so probably better off with like Akeem or
that
something.
one would emotionally affect you a little bit more, though. Maybe.
That's true. I mean, I could still use them in battle, so I guess I'd be fine with that.
It stinks that I made it. Actually, no, I made it a good woe, so I can't even do your heroes.
Oh, right. Yeah,
'Cause it was
yeah.
your hey dad that I negated.
Right.
So
Those should-
that's slim pickings on what I can.
You got
Uh,
Great White Throne, My Lost
yeah,
Souls.
I guess let's go ahead and do the throne.
So, so this must be the version without Prince of the Air, then, huh? Because you're running orphans.
No, uh, it's it's got it, but I don't know if
Oh,
it's the updated list. I just swapped out King of Tyrus for it because I knew that was the one for one swap to get it in, but
oh, sure.
it's not like it's gonna matter this game at all anyway. But if he does come out, thankfully, your Akeem is helping me out.
Yep, I got you.
Um,
I'd have to bounce him with Ezra.
I think I will. You don't have any search counters, right?
Nope. As long as you're not searching my deck.
Yeah, I wouldn't be so lucky. Trust me.
I'm just curious what
Uh,
you do have in your hand. Like, if it wasn't evil characters, it wasn't good enhancements. Like,
it's rough, man. Um,
you draw your other two good dominants as well, or your other two dominants. Let's see, it's Guardian and whatever the other one is, Glory probably.
I'm gonna play this.
Sure.
Put a deck here.
You'll find Judas, so you have a blocker.
that that did cross my mind, but he needs something to back him up. Dude, I can't tell you how bad it really wouldn't be a bad hand if I wasn't so far outpaced on
Yeah,
the resources. Um, now that I can search or whatever,
right.
but, um, I'm gonna get the boat. Oh, wait, no, never mind. Is it wait, does it have to be an enhancement? Or
Nope, just good
it's just
NT card.
yeah, and then enhancement, yeah, okay. Still a little dusty, you know? So I will take this, and then I will play this.
Oh man, you're gonna have to go back and watch that game. I got Chad's boat pretty good.
So I'll put him in boat. I think I will just come in with this guy. Negate lost souls.
See, I knew he was around there somewhere, and if
And there you
my
go.
Charioteers of
Yeah,
Seir was still around,
I had him in my opening hand, but didn't have any enhancements to play on him. So
yeah.
that's literally the rescue. no, no choose, just
Just a
that
low
guy.
number purple guy.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I will block with the Terrified Chiefs, and we'll get a draw there. Turn
Okay.
my Lost Souls back on. Initiative.
Um. Yeah.
I will play Hypocrisy. We'll bounce Simon, John, and I'm gonna bounce any of my guys. Um, no, that's fine.
Okay. Short game. I am good. I will pass turn.
Hey, at least you got the big two in. You got that on the board.
Yeah.
Um, all right. My woes will stay on Nazareth, I suppose. And then we can leave the
I
Great
mean,
White Throne out.
just to confirm, I didn't misplay. Fishing boat can only add if removed by an ability, not by losing. Right? Losing puts it into battle resolution.
Um, what do you mean? Like,
Like I couldn't have like if you remove me by I'm losing by the numbers. That's the end of the battle. You can't add.
Oh, right. Yeah, yeah. If you lose by the
Yeah,
numbers,
okay.
then yeah. But
I was just I mean, I was 98% sure on that, so
I
otherwise, I potentially would have misplayed, but
but Simon was bounced, right? You brought it back, or
yeah,
you? Oh,
yes, but if I could have negated your enhancement with a dominant,
oh,
and then it would have put them back, but I couldn't have played anything because I didn't have any CBP enhancements, so he would have
gotcha.
died by the numbers
Oh, okay.
from well, no, because it would have discarded your enhancement, so I'm sure you had something else to play though, so
Oh, well, maybe.
my thing wouldn't have gotten through because it's not CBP, so I would have still lost the hero and wasted the dominant, so
Gotcha. Um. Uh. Well, if it makes you feel any worse, if you played Chronicles there, you would have gotten the Lost Souls
how so?
because I didn't have anything else to play.
Oh, okay, but I didn't know that,
Yeah.
so
Right. Yeah.
that
Um.
knowing that I didn't have an enhancement to play on a low number guy, and I couldn't do the add to battle to get John back in, even if I brought him back by negating it, still probably the right
Right.
call not to waste the dominant.
Yeah. Um. I mean, I guess on the other hand,
Force you to play something.
no, yeah, I think you're right. Yeah. I mean, even if I just have something for numbers, then
Yeah.
yeah, I
Yeah,
don't know.
because my enhancement that I had was not going to help me very much on numbers.
Yeah. Yeah. So I could see it either way. Yeah. Um. Okay. So now, yeah, we'll just play this now. Let's play Feast of Booths. Territory class for turn. Go to your discard pile. Banish that, that, and that. You draw 3. And then Jerusalem Tower trigger. See what we got left in here. I will fail that search.
If it's any consolation to you, I'm having a blast watching you play the deck, so
That's good. Good to hear.
glad I could be a viewer, a spectator in your game.
um. All right. Great White Throne is going to stay active. And I suppose we'll put down Angel of the Winds. We'll put down King of Edom and David's Servants. And yeah, it should be okay. Then I will go to battle.
Sure.
Let's do Captain of the Host. Draw 3. Band 2. Doesn't particularly matter. I guess we'll bring Caleb in there. We'll sure, why not? We'll do Joshua's officiators, and actually, do I want to even? No, I'm not going to take any of your fortresses. The Band of Joshua. I will not underdeck anything, but I will draw 1, and then discard your woes.
Yeah, of
Sword.
course.
And just got to put more evil cards in your discard pile. Then we'll exchange with Nehemiah, do the protecty thing. We'll exchange with Ezra, who will bounce Zerubbabel. And ban 2 Joshua. Ban 2 Zerubbabel. It's 1 use on Joshua. Convert him to Meek. Draw 2. Got a Hunter and a
Come on,
Darkness.
find a way to deck out.
We'll see if we can get there. And then, oh, that's kind of funny. I guess that would have been better. I guess we'll do it this way. I'm going to ban 2 Akeem, believe it or not, because he'll let me draw 3. Hey, all right. Then let's see, triggers, Zerubbabel's Temple. I will top deck. Oh, that's kind of funny.
How much fun do you have playing this deck? This is such a Jaden deck.
I have a pretty good amount of fun. This, I get to top deck something, but I won't get to draw it because I'm at hand limit. So I'm trying to figure out if
how important is that one card that's left?
Well, it really just depends on like if you actually have a
Well, you know the answer to that,
block.
so but I didn't want to shortchange you going through your turn.
Well, I mean, like I figured the one thing that you could have here is like wives, so I will top deck this Plague of Frogs, which is the other.
I wish I had wives.
New card.
I wish I had just one wife. Like anybody that I could stick out and say I've got a body in battle. I've got nothing to play on it, but
all right. Well, that
I
one
want
card.
you to take a look at my hand when we finish this. It's so bad.
All right. Well, that one card was not Son of God, so I will go ahead and play those 2.
Okay.
It was in the last 4 though, so I did have to draw those 3 with Akeem.
Akeem for the win.
Yeah. So we'll go ahead and pick up the Hopper and Lost Souls here.
Okay. Well, I don't have a blocker, so there's the official 5.
There it is. All right, let's see this hand.
Look at this hand.
Oh my goodness.
So Matthew, you're protected. I couldn't move my woes because I'd already played it. I had the 2 exchanging angels, but nobody good to exchange to because I already had them technically. You bounced John, but he was on the board. It's just virgin birth dead card.
So okay, so did you have both of those angels on your first turn, or at least one of them?
I drew Matthew, and Angel was the draw 2 that I got back off of negating Haydad.
Oh, okay.
And I thought, okay, well, that'll let me next turn potentially use Matthew to draw some. But I also knew I needed to try to get to an evil character, and
yeah, okay.
Dude,
so you didn't have a way to Matthew on that turn though.
No.
Even,
well,
or I guess
I mean, I had Nazareth down, so
I guess so. I was thinking on my turn, like, do I woes Nazareth now and play my Solomon's Dream just to get the use of like my territory class enhancement for the turn?
But you wanted to hurt me for a turn.
But I was like, I should wait, and because I didn't think that Nazareth was really going to hurt my block. Like, it wasn't going to hurt me on your turn. And if it did, I mean, I could play woes at that point. But
I mean, I probably misplayed. I probably should have when I saw your hand, although I don't remember what all you had in there. I probably should have went ahead and used my own woes on Nazareth and did because I think I had Angel of the Winds.
Oh, okay.
Early, so I probably should have negated Nazareth and went for a Matthew draw early before you got. No, you had Jerusalem Tower down already, didn't you?
I didn't have
on
it
your first
on turn 1.
Okay, yeah.
Or no, wait.
I think I know you had the temple from the opening 8, the star ability.
No, I played Jerusalem Tower on my turn 2. That's right. Yeah, I drew it.
Okay,
on my.
So I should have woes my own Nazareth and got Matthew and drawn.
Yeah, potentially. I think.
But because I mean, and I saw your hand.
Honestly, I think you only get a draw 2 though.
Yeah.
If I remember back to my hand, I think I just had the 3 evil characters.
Yeah.
Second
All
Coming
your
and
evil
Amazing
characters
Faith.
are just the 1 brigade too, so.
Yeah.
That probably doesn't do anything for me. Doesn't move the needle of the game. Unless it, gives me an evil character that. Well, I guess technically I would have had to have 2 evil characters because if you were worried about it, you would have just kept doing, or I had to discard.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I didn't think there were any evil characters that you could potentially have. Like I didn't think that there was really any block that you would have other than if you got to your reserve and then did the Contagious Fear thing, but I wasn't too worried about that either with the Builder's Spear protecting the tokens, or Nehemiah protecting the tokens.
Yeah.
Or I guess, yeah, Builder's Spear protecting Lost Souls too, so.
So if I go in that turn with that I came in with Simon, I was trying to go low numbers. I had Royal Parade, obviously,
Yeah.
but not CBP Royal Parade. Does John, with tossing the next, would he have rescued there? I assume so. You only had the one enhancement. But
No,
I don't know
because
what other big
Terrified
bodies you
Chiefs would
had.
negate John.
Oh yeah, yeah.
So, but yeah, I did have Christian
So that
Martyr.
one was hemmed up either way. Yep. I figured you had access to potential dominant interaction.
Yeah, so I had Martyr, but then so if you had played Chronicles, it would negate Hypocrisy, and that would put John back in fishing boat, so my Martyr wouldn't have gotten there.
Mm.
So yeah, you would have gotten it because yeah, Hypocrisy was the only enhancement I had at that point.
So, maybe like long-term value. Maybe Chad's right on this, but I mean, just
As far as
the
like
fact
his
that his
ranking of
thought
it,
about
or
it, it's just not
yeah.
that. Thinking it's not. It doesn't have good longevity.
Mm.
As far as like playing against other top decks or whatever. Which anytime you're playing post exilic, especially mixing in the new Joshua stuff and giving up at, even if I had gotten the Matthew early, a potential draw 2, which is insane that you're playing post exilic and we give up a 2.
I mean, once I get my heroes down, there's not like there's a Mace Road,
Right.
and everything else is pretty much just gold or crimson with maybe one or two other brigades.
Yeah.
And
But
like my
with
enhancements and my defense. I guess I've got wives in the main deck too, but
the combination of having woes just eradicate Nazareth's effect, and seemingly players getting it at the right time. I don't know if you're stacking your hand or whatever. But then also now with just shuffling a card away and then, the ability going away even for that battle phase or whatever.
right, yeah. Yeah,
I
so I
mean, it's
can just
probably not really worth building around Nazareth at the current time.
yeah, it's definitely trickier. I mean, like I mean, I knew it would be a problem for this deck because it does like to do a lot of searching, and so that's why I've got Betrayal in the main deck and Teaching in Parables.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, the fact that I can now use Betrayal to hit it and then search in the same prep phase, like that's pretty good. Joshua's Sword hits it. Joshua's
Joshua Sword's
Officiators.
ridiculous.
Yeah. So
Who knew that would be a bonkers card? Like out of all the cool things like people were expecting to play with,
right, yeah.
Joshua Sword is just, I mean, it's good like when you look at it, but then actually in context now and the fact that, I mean, you get rid of instant abilities now. It's
Right.
just
Yeah.
best weapon in the game, possibly, probably.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, Snatch
All
Spear
the
might be
purple.
up there, but
Yeah, but Snatch Spear isn't as fun now that the rulings changed on it.
now that it's actually like works the way it should.
Yeah. Nobody wants cards that work the way they're intended. You should know that
Well,
just for the
yeah.
content and views.
But I mean, Snatch Spear still works with the Rabchika. So,
Yeah, if you're doing those shenanigans.
which,
But
those are fun. Yeah,
I will say again, like it was definitely fun watching you play it, and I don't know if everyone else enjoys the deck as much as I have the few times I've seen you play it, and I need to go back and watch that game with Chad to get caught up.
that was a good one.
But I, it feels like a deck that has a little bit of staying power that you could play and keep it going, and by the time Nats rolls around, be fine tuned with it.
Yeah. I mean, I it's not super often, I guess, that I find a deck that I'm like, oh, I wanna use this for a whole Lackey Grand Prix and
Yeah,
actually, tweak it, make changes in each one. Like, yeah,
post exilics done turn you out.
I mean, they have a way of doing that, I guess, with me. I don't know. It's something about Jeshua, but I haven't gotten a way to, or found a way to convince myself to get the fortresses with Jaden going in here. So
Mm,
yeah.
don't do that. That's cute.
I mean, yeah, I don't know. I think in order to do that, I'd have to take out the Joshua stuff, and I don't know if I can afford that at this point. So
So so let
see.
me ask you, you won, what was it, 2022 nationals with Post Exilic in
Uh,
Iowa?
yeah, yep,
Okay. Do you feel like this has potential to be better than that deck? That was back in the crazy world of, like, the rule changes or whatever.
right,
But I
yeah,
feel like the rule changes actually enabled you to create a disparity because you're kind of skirting around. You're able to take advantage of rules where other decks maybe aren't because of the 4 activation, and you getting to potentially use Jeshua on defense on their turn to maximize the 4 limit.
yeah. I mean, it would be hard to say that this deck would be better, like with in the 1 territory class and 4 activations environment.
Yeah, you have
Um,
to definitely, like, weigh the, I guess, the reckless speed potential
right,
of chaining things together before probably gives that an edge, but
yeah. I mean that deck could go
I mean, you're doing a lot with the limit of 4 activations and then 1 territory class. You did a
right,
Solomon's Dream into massive card advantage, got your entire offense out.
yeah, yeah. I
I
mean
mean, it's
that definitely, like the Jerusalem Tower thing helps. Um, but like the 2022 deck, you had stuff like Balaam's Prophecy, where you could just use 1 territory class enhancement to draw 4 to 6 cards. Like probably wouldn't hit 6, but maybe like 4
I
cards
mean,
is maybe the
technically, you could still do that if you wanted to use your territory class on that.
and the 4 activations on Jeshua just for that 1 card.
Yeah.
Which that's uh not
Not as
really
efficient
worth
as
it.
this one.
Yeah. But
But
yeah,
that's what I'm saying,
this one
like,
has a
the
lot of
4
different
limit
cards that are
rule,
working together. Yeah.
yeah, you can curtail around the 4 activation a little bit by, like, slowly picking which card you want to top deck to draw and things versus having to use all 4 activations on that 1 card, for example.
Right.
This is more strategic and more nuanced, but you have more control over what you get
Yeah.
instead of just the top 6, and I'm gonna look at them and sort them.
Right. So yeah, I mean, I think maybe you could say, like, relative to other decks, I think that this deck could be better than the 2022 deck, because I think relative to the other 2022 decks, I don't think my PostE deck was necessarily the best deck, even though I did won with it. A lot of it,
It
I think,
tamed the
came down
circus.
to a lot of it just came down to matchup stuff
Yeah.
and other factors, like Josh beating Jeremy was a big thing. Um, or sorry, Jeremy beating Josh.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I beat Josh or I beat
You beat Jeremy, Jeremy beat Josh for you, I think. Is that right?
no, I think it was the other way around. I think I beat Josh, Jeremy beat me. So it
No.
didn't tame the circus. Josh
Oh,
tamed the
okay.
circus for me. Yeah.
Well,
Uh,
sometimes
so,
you go to the circus and end up with just peanuts.
but yeah, I mean, so I
That's
think
kind
relative
of
to other
ironic,
decks,
though.
this deck could be better.
Yeah, that's kind of ironic, you talking about the beating or whatever, and then the very next year in Knoxville, Jeremy beat Nick, but then had a couple timeouts, so
Right. Yeah.
he I guess he tamed the beast, but he
Wait. So yeah, is that 2 years in a row that Jeremy beat the
the
first
winner
place
and didn't.
and didn't win?
Man, he
Feels
should just
bad.
start doing like Jay and start losing to the winner.
Shots fired. Uh,
Uh,
we're not even on your
accurate shot,
podcast.
but
I don't know. I don't know how I feel about you doing that over here.
hey, we're stepping across the border. There's no tariffs on these borders. It's too soon for that.
Oh boy. So I am thinking though, like kind of thinking about it during this game. Like I feel like the way that the loop should work, like I can do it, 3 to 4 times with inhabitants, or I can do it like 3 times and then just banish inhabitants on the last one. But I'm wondering now if I am doing that, then maybe I do play 57 and then the cards I add are just more defense. So I probably put Angel of the Lord back in and then another Lost Soul. So that gets me to 54. So if I just add 3 more evil cards, then I just have more fodder. Basically, like if I need it to block, or I can just turn them into offense.
Give any consideration to Mayhem to give you, I mean, put some stuff down, then draw, and that's an evil card.
Yeah,
if you're playing 57, it could help kind of alleviate if you get stuck with like a search counter. You can at least kind of put down what you can and then draw.
Yeah, that could be
Don't
nice
say it's
too.
a good idea because it came from me. Don't say it's a good idea. That'd be going too far.
Well, no, I mean, the other thing there would be that it's another card that can enable Great Weight Throne on turn 1.
Yep.
Because, like, I've got Hypocrisy and Betrayal that technically could, like, Betrayal is maybe the better, or is definitely the better of those two, I guess, where I can get some hand information, but it's also taking up my territory class, so I can't play a good one. Crowd's Choice is obviously the best option, and then Prosperity can pitch something. But yeah, maybe Mayhem is better because I can, I've got a decent number of enhancements, but I can still, I've got lots of characters, so I can drop out pretty low.
Yeah. My worry with ever playing, anytime I play 57, is just those random, like, well, I did it with a 50 card deck here where you just get a bad hand and you just don't have a way out from under it. And
right, yeah.
even if you weren't able to set a bunch of stuff down, Mayhem could. Like, if Chronicles was Mayhem, maybe it gets me an evil character or 2 and I can at least string the game out.
Right.
But
yeah, so maybe, I don't know, like, I think if I add defense, it probably has to be like, I guess I added Shield, so that's an add to battle kind of thing. But just kind of more like sustainability kind of things, or like, not just like battle winners and whatnot, but characters that can help that.
At your rate, you don't need battle winners.
Well,
you remember the first post-exilic deck you put together? I reached out to you and I was like, dude, I've been liking the theme from, LOC had just released. And I was like, so one thing I've got a question about is how are you winning battles? And you were like, I'm just planning on, what was it? Zechariah coming in and just stopping a bunch of their answers.
Yep. I mean, Impartial
post-exilic doesn't need battle winners.
Impartial Judgment, and then you just, kind of deal with the rest of it. People weren't ready.
Oh, speaking of, you were doing, what was it? Crumbled from a Shout.
Yep.
Are you still? Is that still in your deck list as a?
It's in the reserve, yeah.
A mini. What was it? You called it a substitute impartial judgment play.
Yeah, I mean that's kind of the go-to for awesome things. I think that's. I mean, I don't know. I'm not entirely like I don't think that this deck could quite pull off Impartial Judgment, just because I've got. I mean, Zerubbabel will pretty much always be meek by that point, but like Eliezer, doesn't necessarily. I mean, like I could have 5. That's like my max. If I get Matan out of reserve and I play, all these other 4 guys as meek, which like Akeem I don't necessarily want to, and Eliud, could go either way. And
I think the Crumbled from a Shout is probably the more consistent thing, because you're planning on having the Joshua stuff out,
right?
With all the consistency of the deck. So
yeah,
I don't think I've seen you get to play it in any of the games I've watched.
Well, you haven't watched
Oh,
my most recent video
no.
yet, so
Okay. I'm not wrong, I'm not missing it in one of the previous ones, right? That
um
you like, I know it's there and you talk about it.
videos,
You've talked
yeah.
about it a couple times, but
Yeah, I don't think so. Um
and Lord knows I didn't push you enough to have to get that deep into the deck.
yeah, yeah, I'm experimenting with other ideas as far as what should go in the reserve, but yeah, I think Crumbled from a Shout is kind of that go-to play right now. I think it kind of does the most bang for the buck, so to speak. Um, but yeah, I mean, I think when I originally talked about it, I was talking about how I'd got it in one or two of the games at our last tournament, and it performed fairly well, especially with the Banished Lost Soul and Jerusalem Tower and all that, like getting the triggers there.
Yeah.
But
And you still haven't lacked for blockability on defense. I mean, I guess now it would be more of a question because you're the attrition, like you talking about maybe needing more evil characters if you're pitching them to fuel
right.
your little loop.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't really felt like um, the defense has really lacked much. I mean, I cut, or to get down to 50, I cut Moths, I cut Refuse to Listen, and did I cut anything else on the defense? I don't think so. And I think it still felt okay. Against Chad, I didn't have any evil characters in my opening hand, which was a bit of a bummer. Yeah,
Tell me about it.
but yeah.
Or when you have one and you have to pitch it.
Right, yeah. No, yeah, it was I think that was, I was playing a 50 card deck with 7 evil characters and darkness, so I didn't really feel like that was a like indicator that I needed to change something, I guess. It's just one game, so.
Mm.
But yeah, I think if I do go up to 57, so I don't know, I guess a kind of spoiler for next week's video. It's probably what I'm going to be trying, but it'll probably just be adding some of that defense back in.
From 57 to 50 to 52, back up to 57.
Right, yeah. Hey,
It's a sojourn across the Lackey Grand Prix.
we gotta try it all out. Maybe I'll squeeze 20 shekels in too.
Maybe you should squeeze 100 cards in. Make a 100-card version. The only problem is you can't get double some of your good well, some of the Joshua ones, they're mono brigade.
Yeah, two of my character. Well, I guess the captain. Yeah, those 3 and Angel of the Winds.
Yeah, but
I can get 2 Inhabitants of Seir though. So
that could still not be worth it. Hey, but then you wouldn't have to pick between Mayhem and Angel.
Right, yeah. That's true. I could just add all the dominants, have Shipwreck for your Nazareth, which I'll get in my opening hand every game. That'll be perfect. All right, watch out, Tim. I'm coming with the new 100 card deck. Big PostEs.
The big banishment. Big banishment.
Big banish.
You had slim banishment is what you titled the last one.
That's true.
So you should just call it fat banishment. Thick banishment with 2 C's. Thick with 2 C's.
Maybe that'll be round 4 or something. I don't know. We'll see. I guess we're doing 5 rounds, right?
I don't know.
For this one, I don't know. Yeah.
I'll be at the bottom tables. The bottom virtual tables.
We'll see if we, I don't know, maybe if we lose the next game or 2. And we'll get desperate. Yeah.
Okay, well.
All right. Well, thank you for for watching.
Yeah, it was a great watch. I've already watched a video for this coming week.
Well,
I didn't do much playing.
Hey, it's still 5-2. That's a respectable score. So,
Yeah, they don't have to know that I had the 2 before you ended your draw phase on your first turn. to open the game.
Right, yeah.
Um,
Uh,
I still think that, like, I don't think that there's many decks that really have a good opening hand when you get both Son of God and Second Coming in your opening hand.
yeah. I
I mean,
mean, the fact that
that's
you
rough.
had the weight at Nazareth too was nice. If you also had the cross, then you would have been in good shape.
Yeah.
That was the other
Well,
consideration for I was like, oh, maybe I should play woes on my turn here in case he activates the cross. Because I didn't have a way to deal with it at that point. Like on my next turn I got to Joshua and sword and all that stuff and I was like, I think I'm okay with not playing it here because I can like I have a lot of I mean, not necessarily a lot, but I have enough outs, I think, between teaching him parables, Joshua, Akeem,
yeah.
and sword. Like
Plus,
so
you have to assume if I'm playing it that early in the game that it's going to hurt me at least early on as well,
well,
because
I
you haven't
mean,
accumulated anything in your hand to, "Oh, I can absorb the fact that I don't get to search," which
yeah,
I hadn't played it from that side, the deck, playing it on the opponent's first turn, so
right,
seeing
yeah.
that, I can't say that I'm a big fan of.
Yeah.
uh,
Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't know. If you
But
had
again, that's with Son of God and Second Coming in the opening hand, so that's 2 dead cards basically as far as pushing the pace of the game.
right.
Sure, it's 2 souls on the board, but I'd much rather get those later in the game.
Yeah.
Although, I mean, I saw Banished come out and I was like, "Okay, at least I can take this
Right.
else."
Yeah, that's I was wondering if I didn't go for banished at that point. I mean, you probably still play them before Crowd's Choice to Nazareth, right? Or at least you play
Pro
Son of God once, and then maybe you just hang on to it after you second coming.
Yeah. At least the once. But, I mean,
Yeah.
that would have been a great if I was going first and I did that same thing and I had the cross to throw down after getting the 2 free ones.
Yeah.
But it I don't know, it was just such a weird sequence.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, overall,
But
if you do go first, I mean, you're definitely in a better position, especially if you can go Angel of the Winds to Matthew. And so, you know,
but again, well, you had heroes in your hand, so what is that? Draw 3? You had Solomon's Dream, so that's a or did you have
um,
Solomon's Dream at that point? Did you draw it off of Yeshua?
I think I drew it off of
No, no,
Zerubbabel.
because you used it to get Crowd's Choice to then get to start the sequence.
I used it on that was turn two. Yeah, so I think I drew it turn
Oh,
one
okay.
off of Zerubbabel. So I think
Yeah,
my
because you
opening
didn't
hand was
obviously start seeing.
Zerubbabel, Nehemiah, Caleb, Amazing Faith,
I know you had
and I
3
had a
evil characters, I think, but
and
they were all
and
crimson.
Eliud, and then I think Charioteers, Inhabitants, and that might,
And you had woes.
and then woes. Yeah, yeah, yep.
Yeah, so,
I think that
I mean,
was
that's a 3.
yeah. Which yeah, that was yeah. But I
But,
mean, you go with Matthew, and I don't have a block really as long as you have any battle winner. So
well,
and you get,
I mean, that would depend on the draw.
I suppose yeah, you were, didn't have any battle winners for Hey Dad. So yeah.
Yeah.
Hmm.
I didn't have I never the only battle winner on either side I saw was Royal Parade and, Terrified Chiefs left at it.
Yeah, that's
It was a Terrified Parade,
they kind of look like they could
which
be in a parade there. They're you know like they're walking side by side like they do in a parade.
yeah, I really like the Terrified Chiefs as a card, coming in CBP, negating other cards,
Yeah, me
but
too.
then also getting to manipulate the numbers.
Yep.
I mean, there's a lot of good things and in the right spot with a limited hand. I mean, it just You took that guy and basically won a battle that you probably otherwise shouldn't have won, only having the one enhancement, but
Yeah, I mean, especially the fact that like King of Edom
you had a
can
CBP
ban to him.
enhancement.
Um, King of Edom can ban to him. You get big even without the increase part. Yeah, that's nice. And so yeah, I think the flexibility and avoiding Edom is just a really good evil enhancement. So I think that
Mm.
makes it worth it just by itself, applying Terrified Chiefs, but adding Hypocrisy as well. And I think I think those are the only two CBP I've got in here. But, well,
Are you coming to Kentucky State?
that's the plan, yeah.
Sweet, sweet.
Gotta try it for that belt,
Oh,
get it
yeah,
back.
duh. Look, even though I've said it on the podcast a couple times, I'm thinking Kentucky State, I'm not thinking Mr. Classic. I'm not saying that, like, it's not on my radar at all, but, like,
Yeah,
I keep forgetting that the 2 are 1 as far as showing up to Kentucky, and then there's Mr. Classic happening.
right.
But
Yep.
I said on the podcast, and you probably heard it, but I think Brian repeats. So,
I don't know. We'll see. I mean, he definitely skewed it in his favor, I think, with the choice of
yeah.
Cloud of Witnesses. Not that it was a bad choice necessarily, but that's just very it buffs the theme that he likes the most, but it also buffs the theme that I like the most in that era. So
Mm,
be
I guess
it'll be good.
we'll have to see. Make sure neither one of you sneak or get snuck up on by, um, I guess we'll have to come up with a new acronym thing instead of a random little kid or random Scroots deck.
One of them RSDs. Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh,
So,
yeah. No,
how
it'll
many
be fun.
how many people do you guys like? Do you have a radar idea of how many people are interested in playing?
Uh, I don't really have any idea. I mean, I'm guessing most of the guys in Brian's playgroup and stuff are maybe gonna try it. I don't know if like
Because they want to beat Mr. Jones.
maybe yeah. I don't know if they're like just because it's so convenient. I guess that it's there and having the chance to win the belt. But I guess I don't know how many of them even have classic cards. So we'll see. I don't know if Brian's making decks to hand out or how that's gonna work. But
He
uh,
should just to make there be more rounds and less chance of you guys pairing up early.
I mean, probably make it a little more exciting. Um, yeah, but I don't know. The downside, I guess, is that it's possible that I'm gonna end up flying, so I might not be bringing my streaming stuff. So
Mm.
might be counting on you for that.
I don't know why you would count on me for that, but I mean,
I
I
was
can bring
just hoping.
I can bring my laptop if I get it repaired by then. I still haven't got the screen repaired from where I dropped my phone on it.
Uh, rip.
Yeah.
Uh,
So I've just been porting it over and using it. And every time I make an appointment or look at the appointments, it's like, I might record podcast or might want to do, something or
yeah.
use it for a Lackey Grand Prix. And so I don't want to go and drop it off and it take, a week's time. I don't know
Mhm.
how long it takes. I've never done a repair through the Apple store, but
If it's just a screen, I wouldn't imagine it would take too long.
yeah, it's not like crack screen. So it's just, I guess, like the shock of the impact
Oh,
messed with the, I don't want to date myself and say pixels here, but behind the screen,
right. Yeah,
the
yeah.
screen itself is not like cracked and damaged. So it's probably just like the what digitizer on the back, or
I don't
I
know.
don't know technical terms, but
Yeah. Uh, well, I mean, you got a little under 2 weeks to get it
yeah,
before for Mr.
yeah.
Classic. So yeah, I don't know. We'll see.
I'll
So trying
definitely
to
bring my
figure all that out.
microphone though, so I can interview you after you lose to Brian. So, you know,
You think I'm gonna want to talk to you after that? It's gonna be a tough moment.
I don't know. I feel like it's I feel confident saying that if I had to put money down on who wins, it would be someone that's already held the belt. I feel like that's fair.
All right. I'll
So
take it, I guess.
you'd be in my top 2, I guess.
Oh,
Is Justin coming?
means a lot. He's unsure, I think, at this point, or I don't know, hasn't confirmed with me one way or the other, which is
Mhm.
why I was saying that I might be flying.
Oh, okay.
Um,
So he's running scared from Brian. Got it. See, now you tell him I said he was scared, and maybe that'll get
I
the
think
competitive juices flowing.
Brian kind of said the same thing, I think, when he was on here. So,
Yeah, but
but yeah, we'll see. I mean, I think he would. I think he wants to. It's just kind of a matter of travel and work and that kind of stuff. But
yeah.
so
Well,
anyway,
okay. Well,
should probably
I'll
call it a night here.
yeah,
So,
yeah. Your editing is has increased dramatically. I'm sorry.
I mean, I don't really need to edit too much of this end stuff. So people have just
Mm.
been listening to our chat. And, hasn't been much dead space. So
Well,
hope that's
the
good.
whole game was our chat.
Well,
I
yeah.
was chatting while you were playtesting, doing a
Well, I was just.
goldfish. I was love at first sight over here.
Yeah,
Just watching and
it was my
admiring.
goldfish against I was just hypothetical against a turn 1 Nazareth. How does my deck do?
Well, there you go.
As long as I stack my woes in the right spot.
That's your title for the video, Goldfishing against Hendrix,
I
or
mean,
Banishing Hendrix. There you
people are gonna have to wait till the end of the video here now to know that I'm not just like trying to take a dig at you, and I'm actually taking that suggestion. If I do that.
Hey, I'm cool. I've gotten over the whole, like, competitive non-tournament thing, even in tournaments. I'm okay with losing.
All right, fair enough. Then see
Losing just
now.
gets you closer to your next win, which seems to be very far down the road for me at the present time. I'm
uh,
trying to hitch a ride.
hey, you got a new deck to try out, so there you go.
Yeah,
Uh,
I got a
can
deck to
pick this one up.
retire too. Sorry, Chad.
um, and on the other hand, now if anybody does reach out and be like, "Hey, you were kind of, how could you title your video like that? Taking a dig at Hendrix." I'd be like, "Oh, you didn't watch to the end, did you?" And I'll know
Yeah,
you're not a.
well, and Hendrix takes his digs at people, so that's okay.
Yeah, yeah,
Tit for tat.
yeah. People will probably be messaging you with the same thing. Just be like, "Ha, you got goldfished against." I'm
Yeah,
just kidding. Don't do that. Just put it in the comments. Okay.
put it in the comments. Yeah. All right.
All right. We'll catch you later. Have a good night.
Yep. Yep. You too. Bye.